Do you want more subscribers and views on your YouTube channel? Well, thumbnails are a crucial part of your YouTube strategy. By having click-worthy thumbnails, you will have more people choose your video over your competition in YouTube search, which will increase your watch time and subscribers. In this video, I'm going to walk you through step-by-step how I create free YouTube thumbnails for my business. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on my weekly videos. And let me know in the comments below, how do you create your YouTube thumbnails currently? In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use a free tool called Canva to create your YouTube thumbnails. What I love so much about this tool is that, one, it's completely free to use, and two, it's super simple. So even if you have problems with tech and you're confused and overwhelmed, you will have no problem using this tool. Now, if you're more of a graphic designer and you want to create more intense thumbnails, by all means, use a platform like Photoshop or Illustrator to create your thumbnails. But what I like about Canva is you don't need to be a graphic designer to get started using this software. So before we jump over to my computer and I walk you through exactly how to create this thumbnail, let's walk through a couple of things that you want to make sure that your thumbnail has. So the first thing is a human element. So people connect to people. So having a person or a hand or some sort of human element on your thumbnail is going to increase your engagement on that thumbnail. It's going to increase that click-through rate, which is what you want, right? I always say that if you're a personal brand or you're the person behind your brand and are gonna be in most of your videos, try having a picture of your face on your thumbnail because people connect to people and they're going to want to click on your face. The second thing is large font. Now, people want to be able to see what your video is about and see it easily. So having large font across your thumbnail is going to help them out. Now, I recommend not using the full title of your video on your thumbnail because sometimes that could be far too long and make the font too small. Instead, pick keywords that still get the point across of your video, but allow you to create much larger font that's going to stand out to your viewer. The third thing is graphics. Now, having some sort of visual interest on your thumbnail is a nice touch. For example, if you're going to be talking about Instagram, like I do in a lot of my videos, I'll use the Instagram icon as a graphic on my thumbnail. Now, depending on what niche you're in, there's a lot of different graphics that you can use as part of your thumbnails. That's just an example for you to think about. And the fourth thing is bright colors. Now, you want to make sure that you're keeping your colors in line with your brand colors, but having colorful backgrounds really does make your thumbnails stand out in the list of different videos. Now, for example, my brand colors are blue and pink, and I have like a turquoisey green in there. So if I all of a sudden threw in a bright yellow background on a thumbnail, it wouldn't really go with my brand. And when you went to my channel, it wouldn't really fit. So you do want to make them eye-catching, but please make sure that if you have brand colors and you are a business and you have a brand, that you're sticking within your brand. Okay, so those are the four basics that your thumbnails can have. Now, I'm not saying that every single time you create a thumbnail that you need to have all four of these elements, but these are the four most common elements that are in thumbnails today. Now, let's jump into my computer and walk through this tutorial together.
Okay, so now we're on the home page of Canva, and this is what I use as my free tool to design all of my YouTube thumbnails. And like I said, I just love this tool because it is free to use and it's super simple. So let's get into it. So what I love about Canva is they have templates created already for you for the exact size that you need to have everything done for. So if you just come up to here and you say YouTube, it'll give you all the different options. So I'm gonna hit YouTube thumbnail, and it's going to bring you to all of these different templates. Now, you can use a pre-done template like you see here, or you can come up and use a blank one. But for the example of this video, let's pick a good option to start with, and then we can customize it from there. So let's use this one because I do like the block text that they have going on there. So now what I need to do is I need to customize this Canva template to make it applicable for my brand. So for this background photo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up into here, into uploads, and I have a bunch of things already uploaded into here, but I'm going to show you how to upload a photo. So go to the right-hand side where it says uploads, go upload an image or video. I'm going to go into my branded photos here on my computer and find a good photo for us to use. So here we go. I'm going to use this one and wait for it to upload there. So once it's finished uploading, I'm actually just going to pull it over. And as you can see, it'll pull into the whole space and take over that photo that was there. So now I have a good background photo, right? Remember when we talked about the elements that you want to have in your YouTube thumbnail? And the first one was a human element, right? Having a picture of somebody. So I like this background a lot because it stays within my brand colors. It has a picture of me on there. I'm excited. It's engaging. It's something that my ideal audience would click on because it is very eye-catching. So next we're going to talk about the second element that we talked about, which was font, right? A large font. So here, if I just double click on these words here, I can highlight everything and change the words. So let's create the title, the YouTube thumbnail for this video. So let's go YouTube thumbnail, and I want to make sure that it's using my brand font, right? So I'm going to come up to the fonts at the top here, and I'm going to change it to I'm going to bold it, my brand font. So now as you can see, it's quite large and I want to decrease the size of it. So again, I can just double click into the text field here, come up to the top and select what size I'd like it to be. So let's pick like 80 and see what happens there. Now everything in Canva has this blue box around it. Every little element has a blue box. So if you actually click and drag the blue box, the text will format to the size of the box, which is kind of a nice little trick there. So YouTube thumbnail, and I'm going to make this centered here. So go up to the top, and this is where all of your different text tools are. At the top here, I'm going to hit alignment, and I want it to be centered. Next, I'm going to get rid of these boxes, and I'm going to show you how to create your own. So on the left-hand side of the toolbar here, again, there's going to be a little one that says elements. This is what you want to click, and there's a whole bunch of different features in here. So take some time and really play around with this. There are some fun shapes. There's some frames if you want to put a picture in there. There's stickers, there's charts, there's lines. There's even stuff about coronavirus right now. Like there's so much stuff, flowers. Depending on your guys' brand, I would really look around in here and see if there's any elements that would really add some visual interest to your YouTube thumbnails. For myself, I keep things pretty simple when it comes to my thumbnails. Sometimes I'll put some elements in there, but I really like having the text stand out a lot. So I'm just going to pick a block here. So I just picked the square. I'm going to change the color of that to black. And again, like I said, everything that is in Canva has this blue box around it. So if you just pull and drag the blue box, it will change the format of the actual shape. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to pull this over here. I'm going to drag it over. And then the nice thing about Canva also is that it still works using the layer system, which is similar to something like Illustrator or any other more professional graphic design tool, but this makes it super easy for you to do. So if you click on this actual shape and you go up to the top where it says position, you can actually send it behind the text. So if I go position backwards, you can see that it went behind the YouTube text, which is really nice because you can create many different layers doing this. So if I just drag it there, perfect. And then I'm going to want to create another black box just like that. So if I hit the black box again there and I go Control C and then Control V to paste, it'll paste the exact same one below it. And again, I'm gonna need to position that forward. There we go. But as you can see here, the text and the black shapes aren't really aligning because the line spacing of the text needs to be fixed. So again, we can go up to the top here and hit this little spacing tool at the very top and adjust the spacing of the sentences. So there we go. That's much better. Now, if I wanted to group everything, meaning it's going to lock a bunch of different elements in place, I would just highlight this stuff here, go up to the top here and hit group. So now when I move things around, it's as one unit, and then I can adjust the size of things. I can make things smaller, bigger, however you wanted it. So I'm going to stick it over here. And again, I want it to be quite large, right? Because we talked about it standing out to people as they are searching for your video. But now it's kind of blocking me. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna double tap on this photo to change and scale it. So I'm gonna scale it a bit bigger and I'm going to move it as far over as I can. So I'm gonna move it to the side like that. So as you can see, I'm farther over to the side now. I'm actually gonna make it just a smidge bigger like that. Perfect. And then we can scale this down just a bit more to have it like that. So I'm not cutting off my face or my hands or anything like that. So the next element that we talked about before was different visual interests, different elements that you can add, different graphics, things like that, right? So right now, this YouTube thumbnail would be perfectly fine if you wanted to keep it super simple like this. You totally could. Again, depending on your branding and the colors you want to use, you could totally leave it. But I'm going to add some more visual interest. So I'm going to go back over to elements here, and I'm going to search YouTube at the top of the elements here. It's going to pull up all of these different options for me. So I could choose whatever I thought was going to work. So I'm going to pick this one here, the nice red YouTube play button, and I'm going to make it pretty big, and I'm going to change the rotation of it. So down here, there's a little, looks like two little arrows that are moving in a circle. If you click that and drag your mouse, you can see that it'll rotate it however which way you want. So I'm going to kind of rotate it on a bit of an angle there, maybe make it a tad smaller. And again, I'm going to come behind and I'm going to say position backwards behind, just like that. So I'm going to make it maybe just a smidge smaller like that. So as you can see, it just added a little bit more visual interest to the thumbnail. So for me, I think this is good. I'm happy with it. I'm probably going to say that that's good for me, but there are also other things that you can do. So let me just kind of run through some other options for you for your thumbnail. So I'm just going to copy this page here so I don't wreck the one that I just did. But if we go over into the left-hand side again, and you can go to backgrounds, this is where you can find some really fun backgrounds for your YouTube thumbnail. So what I like about Canva is there's tons of landscapes you can use. There's tons of patterns you can use, lots of gradients, abstract stuff that's really fun. Food, textures, flowers, like it goes on and on, you guys. Even if you don't have pictures of yourself and you wanted just a fun background with some text, you could totally do that too. So for example, let's use this abstract one. So as you can see, that's pretty bright. There's this fun kind of city one. There are some lemons that you could use. That one's really fun. It's super bright. If you have a really neon bright brand, I would highly recommend using some of these fun ones that they have in here. Like even this one's really fun. If you hit see all, there's a ton more options there for you guys. And again, if you go back into text, they also have a bunch of pre-done text for you as well. I do recommend obviously keeping it to your brand fonts. If you do have brand fonts, make sure that stays consistent across all of your thumbnails. But those are just some nice options for you there. And again, if you don't like the template of that, you can come back over into templates and change that to however you want it. So here are some more options for you as well. So that's it, guys. That's how to create free YouTube thumbnails on Canva. Pretty simple. If you guys have those 4 elements or mix and match those 4 elements that we talked about and play around with the different tools on Canva, you're going to have some amazing free thumbnails. The last thing I want to show you guys is how to download these. So you come up to the very top here and you can name it to, YouTube thumbnail so that I know which thumbnail I've created, and then hit download. And I always recommend downloading it as a PNG and just hit download. And it's going to prepare your document and download it to your computer, and you should be good to go to upload that onto your YouTube channel.
Okay, so pro tip time. When you're recording your videos for YouTube, at the end of your video, after you finish completing the filming process, stop and pose for a couple different screenshots that you can use for your thumbnails. So let's do some for this video right now. Do you see how I just stopped and paused and did different kind of looks to the camera? That way, when I edit this video, I can screen grab one of those poses and use them in my thumbnail. This means you're gonna save yourself so much time having to go back and take more screenshots or more pictures of yourself. And if you don't have the budget for a professional photographer to come in and do a brand shoot, this also eliminates that need as well. Now, thumbnails are not the only thing that you need to have a successful YouTube channel. So to make sure you're covered on all the different points to get yourself set up successfully, I've actually created a YouTube channel checklist for you for absolutely free. So make sure you head to the link below this video to download that checklist today. And as always, if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment below, and subscribe for future videos. And we'll catch you next week. Bye, guys.